Are you? It's me, Lauren B. It's our 1 year anniversary, guys. So I just wanted to pop on here for like a little bit and say hello and hang out for a minute and say thank you. I just got back from a like 6 mile hike, so I'm looking like I just got done with the hike. So pardon the appearance, but I knew if I waited till later would not come. Later just wouldn't come. So is my camera dirty? Hold on. Everyone be cool. You're gonna get a little wipe down. Is that better? Oh, that is better. That's much better. All right, everybody be cool. I think that's enough. I think that's enough charging. Yeah, that's better. Hello, everybody. Let's see if we get any bees in here. 3 people are watching me. I see you. How's everyone's day? It's our anniversary today. That's very exciting for me. 1 whole year. Hey, Shaman Knowledge, how are you? A year ago today, I made the Untitled Tarot YouTube channel. After a lot of hooting and a lot of hollering, I finally made it, and here we are. Spring equinox. I just realized today. Happy spring equinox. Everlong Mystic, hi. I just realized that I'm like, today's the spring equinox. Holy crap! They had me create my channel on the day of the spring equinox. It was like the beginning of a rebirth cycle for me, and since then I've gone through several death cycles. But again, spring equinox, we've come full circle, another rebirth. It's very exciting. It's very exciting. So normally, you guys know I'm a wine kind of girl, but I thought for a special occasion, we might pull out something a little fun. So we're gonna pull out the tequila. Have a little celebratory cocktail. Oh, I haven't eaten today. That's fine. It's all fine. Just whatever. Just whatever. It's cool. I didn't eat and I went on a 6-hour mic. So let's have some tequila because that's appropriate. Charlize. Hello, Charlize. I love Charlize. Charlize is like the resident DJ. I was listening. I had the Shufflemancy on the other day. Normally I don't drink it with iced tea, but this is what I have. Use what you got, right? And Won't He Do It? Won't He Do It came on, and so that was real fun for me. I was like, won't he do it? He said he would. Fight your battles for you. They gonna wonder how you sleep at night. Yeah, Charlize, that's right. Charlize knows what time it is. It's a strange cocktail. But I just wanted to cheers to all the bees. I wanted to thank God for bringing me such a far way in just a year. I never thought. You never think, you never know, right? So, cheers to the bees. Oh my God. I haven't had tequila in such a long time. It is my like preferred liquor. When I go out, but baby girl's been staying in, so I've been drinking a lot of wine. Wow, I should probably mix that a little bit better. Maybe I put too much in. I didn't eat. Whatever. Should I don't have a spoon in here. I have an incense stick. I have a pen. Oh my. Hi, Violet Sky. Woo. Things might get fun and interesting. Oh, wow. All right. I see why I drink it with lemonade most of the time. But a year ago today, so much has happened to me in a year. You need some Palo Santo? I have some frankincense. We want to light a little frankincense? That'll be fun. That'll be fun and flirty for us. A year ago today, what was I doing? I had just recently gotten back to work. I was a bartender a year ago. Anika, hi! A year ago, I was still bartending. I was a bartender for almost 9 years. And I was still just getting back to work after I got my appendix out. I thought I had a blockage in my solar plex chakra. Turns out I had appendicitis. So that was fun. So I was out of work for like, I don't know, 2 months, and I like had finally like just gotten back to work, like just gotten on my schedule. And I remember we were fixing to get everything ready for St. Patrick's Day, because in the bar business, obviously St. Patrick's Day is like the big day. And I remember the week of St. Patty's Day, I kept saying to everyone, I was like, I don't feel like I'm gonna be working St. Patty's Day. I don't feel like we're gonna have St. Patty's Day. They're like, you can't get out of St. Patty's Day, Lauren. Everyone works on St. Patty's Day. And I was like, no, I feel like nobody's working on St. Patty's Day. Like, I feel like we're just not gonna have Patty's Day. And they're like, whatever, crazy. Next thing you know, lockdown hit. And we, in fact, no one worked on St. Patty's Day. So that was March 17th that we officially closed my bar. And I had been doing like tarot parties at my house, like girls' night tarot parties at my house, pulling cards for my sister, pulling cards for myself. I was like so like knee deep. I was so knee deep into the tarot like YouTube world. And I had like an inclination. I was like, like maybe that'd be cool, but like I don't have enough experience to do tarot. Like I don't know enough. Like no one's gonna want to listen to me. And I kept getting all these downloads, like start a YouTube channel. And they came in so strongly the day that we closed the bar. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I was like, I don't want to put myself out there on the internet for all of these people, or conversely for no one. I don't want to be just like speaking into the void. And I remember Cindy from Awakening to Spirit, she had decided to take like a little bit of a break. And it was at a time when a lot of tarot readers were taking a little bit of a break. Likely because we all across the globe, we had a lockdown. A lot of them had kids and they kind of needed to deal with homeschooling and figuring out like the new normal, right? And I remember commenting underneath her community post, and I remember saying, you know, it's so interesting that you are like taking like a little break. I'm seeing a lot of the tarot readers I watch taking a break right now, but I feel like I'm supposed to start. And so that I'm not really sure what to do about that. And then San, who is absolutely positively my fairy godmother, who I'm always so unbelievably grateful for, she had posted a video. She had posted a reading about like needing to get out there and like put your skills on display and like start a new project. And I was just like, oh man, I was like, now it's like, now I'm pulling in this stuff from San. I was like, shit. And so I had commented on her video, which I had been doing for months and months. I was like, it didn't matter what sign it was like, San's posting. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, like literally like watching it in my car on the way to work, like hardcore ride or die San fan. And I commented on it and I was like, Cindy posted on the community board and I feel like I'm supposed to start, and now I'm watching this video and it feels like more confirmation. And she was like, I had you in my mind the whole time I was filming that video. And I was like, no, you didn't. She was like, yes, I did. And I was like, shit. Okay. I guess I'll start. And so 3 days after the lockdown, it took 3 days between Cindy's post, San's video, and a lot of hooting and hollering, a lot of pushing from my angels and my guides, who I didn't even know who they were at that point. I just knew that there was just like a lot of energy around me to get me to start. Strong. Thank you, Shaman Knowledge. Hi, Fatty. Thank you. Grace, hi. Thank you so much. Oh man. And so I remember sitting down, and I was in like 3 houses ago. I've moved 3 times in a year. Technically it was like 3 times within like 8 months, which is a lot. I'm quite the vagabond. And I remember sitting in my old house and sitting at the computer, and I remember I was in the basement, and if you watch the very first videos on my channel from March of last year, you'll see me in the basement of my old house, and I was getting super stoned, and I was trying to figure out, I was like, what do I call myself? I was like, everybody has like something, either like a really like crafty name, or somebody has like their name in it, like San has her name in it, or like Tyler's Tarot, he has his name, or like Water Baby Tarot and Queen Cup, like those are bomb ass names, like those are cool. Awakening to Spirit, I don't have like a cool name like that, like, and I don't want to put my first name in the title, like I don't know what to do. What do I call myself? And I remember just being in the basement, being super stoned, super frustrated, because I was already feeling really uncomfortable about starting the channel to begin with. And I remember just being like, I'm just gonna leave it untitled. Like, trying to just be like a brat to the universe, just looking at the ceiling, joint in my hand, just being like, I'm just gonna leave it untitled then. And they were like, ding, 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 you have a winner. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, Untitled Tarot. Untitled Tarot. I was like, because I remember like arguing with them, and I was like, I don't know who I am. Who am I? What am I? Who am I to tell other people what I am to them, right? What am I supposed to call myself? Mystic Pisces goddess? I don't fucking, whatever. I don't know. So they were like, why don't you check the email? And so I was like, all right. So I went on Gmail to make like an email for it, because I wanted to start the channel with like a matching email address, which is normal. And I typed it into Gmail, and boom, Untitled Tarot, accepted. And I was like, all right, so that's definitely a sign. No one else has untitledtarot@gmail.com. So obviously the business email is set up, and I wasn't even thinking of it as a business. I was just like starting this incredibly awkward YouTube channel that I felt very uncomfortable and unqualified to make. And so I started it. And I remember sitting down to make my first video, and I believe it's called Welcome to the Untitled Tarot. The very first video I made, I remember sitting there being like, I have no idea what we're gonna do here. I have no idea what we're doing. I think I had 3 subscribers. My friend Jamie, my friend Alexis, and San. And those are my only 3 subscribers. Yeah, Spirit knew, Charlie. Spirit knew. Those are my only 3 subscribers. And I remember made that video, and I was like, I don't know what we're gonna do here. I don't know what I'm supposed to tell you guys. I don't know if this is just a trick. I'm just supposed to speak into the void. Like, I don't know. And I remember I pulled a couple cards. I don't remember what deck. It might have been out of this deck. It might have been out of the Rider-Waite. I pulled a couple cards, and it was like encouraging, but like not as encouraging. It was not like leaving it on the high note that I wanted. And so I remember hearing them say, just pick one more card. Just pick one more card. And I was like, oh, okay. So I shuffled one more time. One more card flew out, and it was the Sun card. And so that let me know that at least I was on the right track. And from there, I just started filming videos. I didn't even really know how to make tarot videos. I kind of had to go off of other people's blueprints. I was like, all right, well, everyone does the signs. Some people do weekly and some people do monthly, but you pick a sign and then you do the read and then you come up with a title. And so I was like, all right. So that's what I started to do. And I forget what the first reading I did was. It might have been a Cancer reading. Oh God, it's not getting better. It's not getting better. I'm actually tempted to. I'm actually gonna find out. I'm gonna find out right now, you and me, videos, sort by oldest. Libra, of course. Libra gets, they get such special treatment. I have no idea why, but at one point when I had put all of the zodiac signs into their own playlist, I realized that Libra had like 5 or 6 more readings than everyone else. Libra like got so heavily favored for such a long time. And then that kind of shifted over to Virgo. But I used to do them by element. I did Libra first, and then Gemini, and then I did Aquarius, and then I did Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. And I remember my readings started out kind of short. They were like 16 minutes, they were 20 minutes, and then over the course of time, they started moving into like 45-minute videos, and no one was watching them. And it was such like this big, yeah, I'm looking at the first element by design readings that I had done, which I kind of got the idea of it because Water Baby Tarot, she does these like crystal healing videos that are pretty long. But I wanted to do something similar, but something different. And so I started the element by design readings, which I haven't done in a while, but I still love them. And they're like 45 minutes, they're 50 minutes. And I was expending all of this energy on these like 50-minute videos. And no one was watching them. I'm looking at now, it's 11 views from 11 months ago. And I was like, oh, Lord. And I remember getting so frustrated at points because I would be filming and filming. I mean, and it was quarantine. I had nothing better to do than just smoke weed and bake cookies and film YouTube videos. But I remember being frustrated. I was like, I just don't understand why you're asking me to do this. Like, it's so much work. I'm so tired. I don't feel confident in doing this. And no one's watching them. Like, if the point of this is to help people, maybe I'm helping 12 people right now. I have absolutely no idea. But they were like, just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. And it was such like a trial by error. Like, the way I wanted to do readings. And I wasn't pulling in like I was just learning animal symbolism. And I was just kind of figuring out how to operate within my own energy and how I liked to read. Like, I don't like to just necessarily pull out the cards and then just like read them by the book definition of what's on the cards. You guys know I kind of sit here and I open channel and I pull in these weird visions and these messages and just little things, even from what I ate that morning, or like the way they had me style my hair differently. That kind of relates into the message. And I can see that back to the very beginning of my videos, and that made me feel uncomfortable because I didn't see a lot of other people doing that. So I was like, I'm not doing it right because I'm not doing it how they do it. And that was the beginning of me kind of developing a foundation and a trust and a confidence in my own skills and my own abilities, and a lot of trial by error. Things wouldn't work, things would be too long, they'd be too short. Titles, just like how I pull in energy, how after you pull in energy, how you have to like center it and ground it and transmute it, because you can't carry around everyone else's energy all the time. It'll make you sick. Like, and I was trying to do collective like energy work, like on the earth grid, and I was not ready for that, but I heard people doing it and it sounded super sweet, and I was actually like really like doing not great things to myself in the process of trying to do it. I was really making myself tired, and so then having to pull away a little bit from the collective and focus a little bit more on like whatever channel I was reading for, like at that time, kind of build up like my stamina for energy, if that makes any sense. And that took a long time for me to do it. Tequila. Hi, Amelia. If it wasn't for you and Rob, I would have never had the guts to start my own channel. You're an inspirational. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you, Everlong. And Rob's amazing. I remember I was toiling away on my channel, and I loved it. And before I had kind of like my first surge of subscribers, I was doing these like in the forest videos. I was doing all of my readings outside in the forest, in the back of the other old house that I lived in. And those were really, really fun. And I think I had probably like 75 subscribers. And I believe it was like at the very beginning of June. And I was super excited that I had 75 subscribers, but my goal was that by, I think it was June. It might have been July, but I think it was June. Maybe it was July. But by one of those, that I would hit 100 subscribers. Like, that was my goal. And I remember I walked into work that day and I was a little disappointed because I didn't hit 100 subscribers, and that was my goal. But I was still like really grateful and excited that I had 75 like real life subscribers, like people that like, well, technically 72 because 3 of them were my friends, but maybe 71 because one was my sister. But I remember being like really happy and grateful and be like, well, I didn't hit my goal, but it's still really awesome that there's 75 people. I've been on this channel for like 4 months, 5 months, nobody's been watching shit. So at least this is really exciting for me. And that was the day that Stan had made a video shouting out a bunch of YouTubers, and I had no idea. I just remember being at work, and it was like an hour or two before my shift ended, and I'm walking around handing out beers, handing out mozzarella sticks, and all of a sudden my phone starts blowing up. It's like, another subscriber, you have a new subscriber, someone subscribed, which is funny because since then I've never got a notification on my phone that someone subscribed to my channel. I'll just go into my creator studio and it'll show me that people subscribe. But I've never gotten like alerts on my phone that people subscribe to my channel. I think YouTube was so shocked that I got some more subscribers that they just had to let me know. They're like, girl, do you see what's happening? And I remember being like, wow, like that Pisces video I did, it must have really been good. Like I just got 30 subscribers. Holy shit, I hit my mark, 100. And then all of a sudden they kept coming in and they kept coming in and they kept coming in. And I had no idea what happened. I was like, what's going on? And I was busy at work and I found a second and I like opened up the YouTube app, and the first video at the very top of the page was San and her shout out video, and I was like, that must be what it is. And I was like, oh my god, Santero shouted me out. And I remember getting like really emotional at work, and they're like, what is the matter with you? And I was like, my favorite YouTuber who really inspired and encouraged me to start my channel, she shouted me out, and now I have all these subscribers. Like, I was like beside myself. I was so happy. I was like, I was cartwheeling out of the building that day when I clocked out, and I just like couldn't wait to go home. I was in the car and I was like, I'm gonna go home and watch her video. I want to see what she said about me. Like, I was so excited. And I remember I got home
And I watched the video, and the thing, even more importantly than the fact that she shouted me out to begin with, was the fact that she said that she could really see that, like, I put so much of myself into my readings, that, like, I put so much of my heart, like, I'm gonna get emotional, that she could see that I put so much of my heart into my videos, which I do, right? It's like when I read for you, I read for myself too. I am all of the signs. I am all of the energy. If you're angry, if you're going through something, I'm experiencing that energy for myself too. So it's not just reading for you. I'm in the pit with you, and I'm at the top of the mountain with you, like, as I do it. And because we all read and channel and interpret energy through our own lens of experience, right? There's nothing that I can read that I haven't experienced at some level in my life, so I understand the weight of the messages as they come through. And it meant so much to me that she said that she could see how much of myself and how much of my heart that I really put in to my work and what I do, and it just, like, touched me so much. And she had also shouted out Rob, which was really exciting because I didn't really know a lot of, like, younger, like, YouTubers who were, like, my age, right? Who were in, like, my immediate peer group. They were all, like grown-ass adults, and I did not feel at 28 years old like I was a grown-ass adult. Well, actually, I had my 29th birthday, but, I mean, I'm 30 now, and I don't feel like a grown-ass adult. I feel, at 30 years old, I feel 22 again, which is interesting. Maybe it's part of the rebirth. I don't know. And that was really fun that I got to see Rob. And I looked at his channel and I was like, this is so cool. Like, there's not a lot of male tarot readers, and to be perfectly frank, some of the ones that do exist and are out there are cringy AF. Like, they are super cringy. And so I thought it was so cool that he was, like, my age, or he was, like, around my age, and he was doing tarot, and he was really cool, and he was really good at it, and he had, like, this psychological background to him, which added, like, a totally different dimension to his readings. And I got to, like, reach out to him, and I was like, oh my god, San shouted us out, and was like, I know, it's so cool, right? We got to have, like, a fangirl kind of moment. And, you know, over the year, but really over the past, probably, what, she shouted us out in, like, July, so probably over the last, like, 6 months, I've really gotten to build, like, a really nice friendship with him, which is really nice, because I think you guys know, on this spiritual journey, it's hard to find people that are like you and do what you do. And me and him resonate on a lot of the same energy. We interpret messages a little bit differently, but we share a lot of the same messages, and we share a lot of similar members of our spirit team, and there's like a lot there. So it's really cool to have someone to kind of, like, talk shop with, if that makes any sense. So I really appreciate, and I'm very grateful for his friendship. And had she not shouted him out, I might not have ever found him, right? And perhaps vice versa, because I don't believe he was aware of me either. So it's really cool to, like, have, like a coworker that's, you know, like, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how it feels, and it's really nice. It's really, really nice. Oh, thank you, Charlize. I'm not trying to tell your business. I don't try and tell your business in the readings, but it just comes out sometimes. I say that to Rob a lot. Every once in a while, I'll go on his channel. I'll be like, will you stop telling these people my business? Like, stop it. I know I'm not emotionally available. Stop it. Like, stop telling everybody my shit. But that's kind of goes with the territory, right? You're my favorite little Cancer, Charlize. I think I know which cringy ones you're talking about. Oh, yeah. Like, yeah. There's it's funny because on the Creator Studio you can actually see, like, the most common people that your subscribers subscribe to, and some of them make a lot of sense to me, like, similar people that my subscribers subscribe to as well, and then some of them I'm like, we are not the same people. But some of them are, you know, more theatric, or sometimes you gotta watch someone merely just because they're entertaining, right? Because they just, like, sometimes some people are meant to just come in and, like, shake the table in the room, right? And so God bless them for that. But there are a lot of really good, talented male readers out there. You know what's interesting? So, a male reader that I actually do really like is Ramblin' Mike. I actually like Rambling Mike quite a bit. He has a very nice temperament, and he's very positive, and he's very optimistic, and that is lovely. You don't often see that. Like, even in a situation or a reading, you can tell it's, like, a little bit dicey. He has a way to find the silver lining in it, and I think that's so important in what we do, because some of the messages are really heavy. So to just like throw a heavy message at someone and not at least try and help them find the silver lining is sort of like a job half done. And I think he does a really good job of that. And I love that he is also very close to Empress of Duality. That's why it's like the YouTube psychic, oracle, mystic, tarot ecosystem is so beautiful how it branches out, because I found, what was her name? I found San, and through San I found Adelina Bond, and through the two of them I found Cindy from Awakening to Spirit, and I found Water Baby Tarot, and from her I found Queen Cup, and from the two of them I found Empress of Duality, particularly from Water Baby Tarot, and from her I found Northern Comfort Lights, her partner, her twin flame in union, Danny, and like the way it all spreads out is like so interesting. The first tarot YouTuber that I ever watched ever was Jacqueline from Universal Tarot. She always wears like the little witches hats, and she always has like the red lipstick, and she has like all the tattoos, and she's like another silver lining playbook reader, which I absolutely love and adore her so much. Yeah, Russell too. I almost like, in so many ways, I don't always consider Russell necessarily like a card reader, because his gifts and abilities expand so much further than just reading cards. There are a lot of times where he doesn't even use cards. He just pulls in energy, and he does interdimensional channeling. And when he was doing the channelings at the ruins, right? He's like Merlin. Russell is like Merlin. He's in a totally separate category of his own. He's definitely one of a kind. He's a one of a kind person. But I very much enjoy his work. He's extremely talented. I'm surrounded by extremely talented people. Like, it's absolutely out of control. And it's not just the people that have YouTube channels. You guys are extremely talented as well. I mean, I see it. I read for it. I always say that I read for a very special group, a very special, gifted and talented people. I read for other readers. I read for other mystics. I read for other psychics. In my personal life, I find that I come across people that are just on the precipice of like a spiritual awakening, and somehow, some way they get sent to me, and there's something I'll do or something I'll say, and it kind of just like tips them right over into the curiosity cauldron, and next thing you know, they're in a full-blown awakening, and I'm like, see you on the other side. But the collective that I actually read for, you're all psychic, you're all intuitive, you all have gifts and skills and abilities. It comes out in your past lives, it comes out in the personal readings, it comes out in the weeklies, it comes out especially in the extended readings that we do on the Patreon, which I'm so grateful for all of my patrons. We dive deep in a way that is so intimate and personal, that it really needs to be on a separate platform like Patreon. And I read for terribly gifted people. A lot of you guys put me to shame. It really is beautiful, and I always try to encourage you guys to explore your gifts and your abilities. They're gifts from God, right? They're gifts from the spirit. And a lot of you want to start channels, and you want to branch out into spiritual based businesses and all of that kind of stuff, and there is a level of feeling intimidated or feeling unsure or not feeling super confident, and I know that because I lived it for so long. You feel like imposter syndrome, right? And I always encourage you guys to just go forward anyway, because, you know, I was a bartender for years, and I didn't know how long I was going to be a bartender, but I knew I didn't want to do it forever, and so I was always trying to find something else for me to do. Right? And so for me, I thought the way I was going to leave bartending was by baking, because I was the cookie girl at my job. Little Miss Sunshine. Everyone called me Smiley, and I was the cookie girl. I'd bring plates and cookies and cakes and mini muffins and stuff every single day. I make my own jam. And, you know, I remember one night, people had asked me after work, it was like a Saturday night, like, hey, you want to come out to the bar? Like, you want to come out after work? And, like, we're all going to go drink. And I'm like, I'm going to go home, and I'm going to make some jam. And they were like, you're gonna jam? I'm like, no, I'm gonna make some jam. I'm gonna make some strawberry jam. And they were like, okay, weirdo. It's like, that's the story of my life. You're gonna start a YouTube channel? Okay, weirdo. You wanna make some jam? All right, weirdo. Whatever you wanna do. Next thing you know, bringing a couple jars around the bar. Next thing you know, people are buying jam. I'm taking jam orders across the bar. You want a Miller Lite and a jar of jam? I got you. So I really thought that was gonna be my thing. Which is funny because spiritual people like to bake. Dana from the Pink Peony Oracle, my sweet little adopted sister, she is an incredible baker. There's something about spiritual people and baking. I think it's like doing tactile type stuff with our hands. We like to do it. And so when I got told to make my YouTube channel, I'm like, this is going to cut into my baking time. Thank you. And they were like, you're going to make your YouTube channel. I didn't want to do it. And sometimes it's the one thing that we don't want to do, or we feel intimidated to do, or we don't feel qualified enough to do, right? That is the thing that changes your entire life, because I didn't realize at the start of the pandemic was going to be the start of my entire life changing trajectory. Absolutely not. I thought that it was just a hobby that I was going to do. I didn't know it was going to turn into a business. I never thought, had you told me a year ago, in 6 months, you're going to quit your job that you make a lot of money at, that you've been at for almost a decade, and you're super comfortable there, and you're going to become a full-time internet psychic lady. I would have never thought that in a million years. I would have been like, I don't know what you're smoking, but can I have a half ounce of it? Like, I would have never, ever in a million years, right? And it's not something that I like wanted to do because it was uncomfortable and it was new and I didn't feel qualified, I didn't feel capable, but it was the exact same thing that changed my life. So it's important to ask yourself, like, is there something that like God is asking you to do that seems like way bigger than you and you feel like insecure to do it? Just look at me, because that could be the thing that sets your whole life on a totally different trajectory. I'm dreaming things for myself now that I never thought I could have ever done, I would have never thought myself to be a business owner, especially not doing this. I would have never thought that the gifts that I tried to hide for most of my life and try to ignore, those would be the things that were really going to allow me to do the most good in the world for other people. I would have never, ever expected that in my whole entire life. And I always say that there were so many moments where I prayed to have friends that were like me, right? And instead of just sending me people, just handing me friends that were like me, he allowed me to create a platform where I could build a community. He didn't just give me a community, he allowed me to be a community, build one. And I love when I see you guys and you're following each other on Instagram and you're hyping each other up and you're reposting each other's stuff and you're commenting back and forth in the comment section and you're hanging out on the Patreon, and it's like, it's so fun for me to get to be like a factor in the change, right? It's like, be the change you want to see in the world. Like he made that change in me, and then I got to be that change in the world. And the domino effect, the butterfly effect of that is so beautiful. Like, I would have never ever expected it. And these are the things that like changed my whole life. It's absolutely incredible. Hi, Kayana. Cynthia. Baking is about divine timing. The baking is not done for me for a lifetime. That most certainly not. That's just we're gonna have to revisit that. You're starting astrology school next month. That's so cool. That is so cool, Cynthia. Oh my God. You're gonna start doing birth charts. Heck yes. Heck yes. That's super exciting. And I love that. Like, I love when I hear you guys and you email me and when you comment me and you're like, I'm writing a book and I'm starting astrology school and I'm doing this and I'm starting a candle company and I'm like, it's so exciting, right? Because my animal totem is a bee, right? And that's why you guys are the bees, because as we said in the animal totem video, bees do their own independent work. Some of you write, some of you do Reiki, some of you make jewelry, some of you make candles, some of you are into astrology, some of you, like, you're all doing all different kinds of things. Some of you are in the medical field, some of you are teachers, some of you are mothers. Like, you're all doing different stuff on your own, but it benefits everyone. It benefits the entire hive. And it's just so beautiful, right? Like, it's not just me. It's like all of us, like, buzzing around doing our thing. But the vibration that kind of emanates off of us by kind of following the things that God is asking us to do. Like, we are creating a better world. We are leaving behind something better than we inherited. And that is a beautiful thing. We should pre-order birth charts from Cynthia. I'm game. Cynthia, who's your favorite astrologer? What astrologers do you follow? I really like the Peace Stealer. Some people some people are a little hot and cold, but I actually really love the Leo King and the Peace Stealer. Some people don't really jive with them, but I actually really like them. I also have Mars and Gemini, and I also have a lot of Leo in my chart, so I really like the Peace Stealer a lot. See, that's awesome, Charlize. That's what I'm talking about. Making your own tarot cards. Hell freaking yeah. I got a lot of things. I got a lot of projects. I have a lot of aspirations on my to-do list that I'm very excited about moving forward. Not all of them will, well, I don't even know. Because I'm like, okay, maybe one or two of those things are going to happen this year. But, you know, I didn't even think what was going to happen this past astrological year, it was going to happen. And then look at that. So maybe all of them will get started and accomplished this coming year. I don't know. First and foremost, the first thing that I'm really, really excited about is the book club. Book club. I never thought I'd be running a book club. But God told me to start a book club that we can do spiritual and personal development work, but not by following gurus. By reading classic pieces of literature, even some contemporary pieces. I've been looking at the poll results on the Patreon, which is an open public poll for anyone considering joining the book club, the Busy Bee book club, the collective collaboration project. And it's a great idea. I remember someone had commented, they're like, this is a great idea. I'm like, thanks, it wasn't mine. I'm like, this is 100% God's idea, and he planted it in my head, because I would have never thought of this, like, on my own, to start. 2 more days, Everlong. I'm leaving the poll up. I decided I wanted to leave it up for a full week. So yeah, so 2 more days and we'll see what the results are, and then I will announce it, and then put up a couple different times and dates for meetings to see, probably vote on meetings, to see what kind of works for everybody, because everyone's in different time zones. I'm thinking maybe like a Monday or a Thursday might be best. Weekends can be kind of tough for people sometimes. It's like their only time to get stuff done. And so we're going to see. Hi, Steve. Hi. I love Steve. It's like choosing a favorite child. Yeah, but everyone's got one. Everyone's got one. I go do candles too. So at least you gotta set up an Etsy shop. I know. They're talking to me. Teas and oils. That's cool. That's super cool. You're a book person. I'm a book person too. The thing that's cool about the book club is I wanted to make it as accessible to people as possible. So I told them, like, if you are not like I like a hard copy. So for the book club, I will be obtaining, ordering, going out and purchasing the hard copies of the books, because that's just the kind of lady I am. I'm sentimental about that kind of thing. But if people want to get Amazon Kindle, that's fine. If people want to use Audible and listen to the books, that's fine. That's your business, how you best read or listen. That's all you. But then we're going to talk about the themes every other week. The way I'm breaking down the month is that, like, kind of weeks 1 and 3, we're going to be talking about the themes that we find in the books. Like I said, I don't think that you need to read a book about meditation or from a guru in order to do personal and spiritual development work. In the video that I had made about the book club, I used Frankenstein as an example, because that is on the book list for us this quarter, about how in Frankenstein you see themes of creation, right? You see themes of revenge, anger, social isolation, crisis of identity. And those are all personal and also spiritual themes and issues that we deal with. We don't have to go to a guru in order to see them. We can see them through these classic pieces of literature. And so on weeks 1 and 3, we're going to really break down. We're going to have group Zoom meetings and be able to kind of share it around, pass the talking stick. And everyone, I know it did go fast. Hi, Palmer. Thank you. We're going to be able to kind of pass the talking stick and share our personal experiences and how we interpret this work and all of that kind of stuff. Oh, Cynthia, she is very good. I do really like her too. She is like a warm cup of tea, and her videos are like very aesthetic. And then at the end of weeks 1 and 3, I'm going to offer up like a creative prompt of sorts, where, say, Frankenstein, we talk about crisis of identity. There might be a prompt having to do with that. And then on the 2nd and 4th weeks, you get to make some kind of creative project, right? Maybe you're a writer, maybe you like to journal, maybe you like poetry, maybe you like music, maybe you like paper mache, maybe you want to do an interpretive dance. I don't know. It's like however you want to, maybe you want to break dance, like however you best want to creatively interpret that energy and use it to express part of yourself and part of your story. So that way this group is not only are we, because we always work on like soul food, right? But sometimes we don't work on the brain food. Does that make sense? And like the emotional food, like there's all the food. We need all the food groups. So this group really allows us to work on the soul food, but also work on brain food and emotional food and social food, right? Creative fuel that we get to read and really expand our minds and allow it to work through our personal and spiritual progressions, while also being able to express ourselves creatively, doing tactile projects, and also be able to hang out and talk as a small group, as a community, and make friends and present your feelings. This is the journal entry I wrote about anger and revenge, and this is how I feel about it, and have a group of people that actually care what you have to say, really want to listen to your story, right, as we are all processing these themes. And I think that's so important. I think it's so endlessly important that we do it. So it really hits for me all the birds and all of the stones, right? We work on our spirit, but we also expand our mind. We get to make friends. We get to express ourselves creatively, which is why I said in that video, it is a commitment. The group is 100% a commitment. It's a commitment of time. It's a commitment of yourself. But I find so often that we don't really commit and invest in ourselves. And so this is a way to really hold ourselves accountable to that. Make the time to read the chapters. Make the time to do your creative project, whatever it is for you. I'm not going to tell you what it has to be. You do whatever you want. It's not, make the time to have the meetings with us once a week for like an hour and a half and do the damn thing, right? It is a commitment, but I believe that we are worth the investment. And if we don't hold ourselves accountable to that, then we won't invest in ourselves. So that all allows us to sit in our feminine energy, right? Being able to receive, being good receivers. You deserve and you are worthy to receive time off, to receive investment in self, to receive time for yourself, time to make friends. It's important. And something that I'm working on it too. And I'm not just hosting the group, but I'm also participating. So I will also be sharing my own personal interpretations of this energy. I will be doing my own creative projects, and I will be presenting them to everyone as an equal member of it. I am a host, but I'm an equal member of it, which is why I had intuitively kind of knew what kind of book I wanted to start with first, but I thought it was more important to put a poll up and see what everyone else wanted to do. I don't want to be a book club dictator. This is a small private community. And so I wanted to make sure that we chose what the majority, democracy, right? The majority, what everyone else wanted to do is more important than just me. Exactly, Everlong. As intuitives, we're always focusing on everyone else, and then we forget about ourselves, right? We forget to ground, we forget to center, we forget to take time for ourselves, and this is a good way to do it, and do something good for ourselves. Make friends, do the whole thing. The divine always puts us in alignment with what will help our souls evolve the most too. Yeah, exactly. That's why when someone was like, that was such a good idea, the book club, and I was like, girl, it ain't my idea. I would have never thought of that in a million years. I would have never picked book club for myself, ever. But that's what they told me to do, and I trust in God that it's a good idea. The same thing with Sunday service. I would have never thought I'd be doing Sunday service, but we've done a lot of episodes of Sunday service so far, which we will get back to eventually. Sunday service sometimes has to take breaks, and I really needed that sabbatical that I went on. Even now, you guys know, normally I post 2 videos every day, plus the 2 extendeds, and then Monday all the way through Saturday, and then on Sunday I do Sunday service, and then I do collective coffee, and then I'll put up the animal totem videos, or I'll do the channeled messages in between, and I do the written things on Twitter, and I put them up on Instagram, and it's like, I was so burnt out. I was really having that my value is engrossed in my productivity kind of thing. And it was not great for me. So I really needed that time off. And even now that I'm back, I'm pacing myself. So I'm like, if a video doesn't get up, then a video doesn't get up. Maybe I'll just work on personals that day. Maybe I'll just go and I'll just hang out with Jesus in the woods like I did today, right? If I post one video and then the extended, then one video goes up, and it's okay, because I too have to submit to divine timing and be taking care of myself. And the messages, even the I've gone through half of the weeklies. Normally on Saturday I would have had all of them done, plus all of the extendeds, and not forcing myself to do that as almost like treating myself like a machine is also allowing a greater quality and clarity of the messages to be coming in as well. Like there's just like a like the Leo message I did this week was like probably my favorite reading that I did. Aries was like out of control. The amount of people that showed up and showed out on the Aries reading, which I pulled 3 tarot cards for that entire reading, and the rest of it was like these weird little Nancy Drew breadcrumbs that I had to follow around. And I felt like that video was bananas. The amount of people that showed up and showed out in that videos. I gained so many subscribers from that video. It was bananas. I would have never expected that. But that is also messages that I wouldn't have been able to necessarily discern properly had I not been able to take that break, right? So that's why it's important to do it, even though everything inside me was like, don't you take that break. Don't you take that break. But God was like, no, you need to rest. Like, you need to rest. You need to chill out. You were losing your mind. And I was like, you know what? I am losing my mind. And then normally I would come back, because I've taken breaks before. Like around Thanksgiving, I took a break. And when I come back like hard and heavy. You know me. I'm like, pachoo, reading. But this time they were like, we don't want you to do that. We want you to pace yourself. We want you to slowly work yourself back into a new groove. Not back into the old schedule, into a new groove. And that's been difficult for me. And there were plenty of times where I'm like, okay, I'll do another reading. And they're like, a couple days ago, they're like, no, that's enough. Go relax. Go rest. Go do your thing. I'm like, okay, it feels weird because I have a lot of Capricorn placements and I have a lot of Leo in my chart, and I'm very prideful. But you gotta do what's best for you. And it is what's best for me. So, and the quality of work that I'm putting out is much better. And the whole purpose of it is to give you guys the most accurate, but also the most helpful messages. And those clear perspectives come from me having a clear perspective of myself and my purpose and in my own life as well, which is why I've been like, I was going to do readings today and they're like, nah, go take a hike. So I went for a 6-mile hike. I busted ass. I did so good. I'm sore now though. I probably won't be sore after I finish this tequila, but I'm so excited you're going to be joining us in the book club, Charlize. Thank you, Cynthia. It's hard because, Janet, this world is really competitive. This whole world, it tells you got to hustle. You got to work hard. You got to, right? It's all hustle. It's no flow. There's no flow in this world. It's just all hustle. But this world will hustle you right into the ground. You will grind it out, and you will grind yourself right into dust. And that's not part of your spiritual inheritance from God. That you shall have all good things. He will not keep any good thing from you. He will give you your heart's desire. Provision, joy, love, happiness, rest, peace. So who am I competing against? Those are really like questions I had to ask myself. Like, Lauren, who are you competing against? Then I was realizing that I was competing against the narrative that I had of myself in my mind that was telling me that I was a failure, that I was lazy. And I had to put that in perspective and realize, no, I'm not a failure. I'm not lazy. I'm not any of those things. These are just aspects of my shadow. These are aspects of devil energy trying to come in and tell me that, like, I ain't shit. And I don't even have to believe that I am the shit. I just have to believe that, like, I'm enough, that I'm okay. Like, it's all gonna be all right. Like, what's mine will always be mine, and I don't have to kill myself to get there. Because then even if I get there, I won't enjoy it. I'll be too tired crawling around on the floor. So what's the point, right? It's like, you got to enjoy the ride. Sometimes the destination is the ride. Oh, thank you, Anika. Yeah, I try and post the little nature walks and stuff on like TikTok and Instagram. Oh, thank you, Cynthia. You guys are so nice. Non-burnout groove. Yeah, you gotta get... Now, they've been playing me Groove is in the Heart for, like, the past couple hours, which is funny. Is that a big-ass Coke, LOL? Oh, tequila. It's tequila and iced tea, because I'm running low on wine, and I wanted something special. But then I realized, at the beginning, I was like, wait, I didn't eat today, because I was fasting today. I was like, I didn't eat today, and then I went on a 6-mile hike, so now I'm gonna have this tequila. And it was way too strong, so... That's fun. That's fun for us. that helps us tap into our own intuition in new ways, to tap into source in fresh ways too, to learn to trust self and the divine. That's absolutely, I've been in competition with myself. That's absolutely right. And you know what it is? I realized that I don't even have to be in competition with myself. What am I proving the old me wrong? Like, why am I competing against myself? That I have to be better than I was yesterday? I don't have to be better. I don't have to be more productive than I was yesterday. I don't have to be more productive tomorrow than I am today. Like, it's all fine, right? Because sometimes your ego and your shadow or your instinct tells you, like, go, now's the time, run. And God's like, no, like, pull back the reins. Like, because everything in me was like, charge forward, but God was like, no, hold it back. And it didn't make any sense to me at the time. Of course, it never makes sense to us at the time. But now, in retrospect, I realize, right? Even, like I said, even when I came back, I was like, I wanted to hit the ground running. And he's like, nah, like, you hit the ground, like, walking, like a breezy, like a brisk little breezy walk, like, maybe sit on a bench, like, then get up and, like, keep going, right? It's just the way it is. Because, you know, I operate under this, every piece of advice, everything that I tell you guys, I operate under the same system. I have to be obedient. I have to follow my instructions. I have to rest when he tells me to rest. When he asks me to do things that are uncomfortable, like, I have to try and do them, even if it's hard. I have to pray for strength. I have to pray for grace. Sometimes I have a hard time. I always have a hard time letting stuff. I'm a Pisces. I always have a hard time letting stuff go. Like, and I never have a hard time with forgiving, but I have a hard time letting stuff go. And I have to pray for the grace to get through that too. I operate under the same rules and systems of spiritual law as everyone else. I've said it since the beginning of my channel. My intention was never to preach on a mountain to people. Like, I'm on the mountain with you and I'm in the pit with you at the same time. Like, I'm in the trenches. I'm in the trenches with everyone else. I'm by no means not going through the same exact processes, which is why so often I'll go through really kind of chaotic or tumultuous things, and then I'll see them come out in the next week or two in the readings, and I realize a lot of this is I'm going through, not only for me, because it's part of my own process and my journey, but so that I can better articulate and guide everyone else as well through it. A lot of times I get stuff like a little bit early. Midas touch, I love that. Your ego will give you a run for your money. And if you're not, like, tuned in, your ego will sound like your higher self. It will play you out of your position. It absolutely will. I mostly relate it to kind of like that tense, like, anxiety feeling. Anytime it feels tense or anxious or like, ugh, I gotta do it, like that, I gotta fight my way out of a corner kind of thing. I know that that's my ego, that's my shadow, that's devil energy. It's not, because God's just like, you're good. It's fine. Just carry on, my wayward son. It's all gonna be fine. I got you. It's like, okay. And there are plenty of times where I have little breakdowns and I get upset too, y'all. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, God's got me, right? It's like the affirmations I'll give on Sunday service. I'm like, God's got me. Everything's going to be fine. God's going to handle it. God's going to take care of it. God's going to take care of it. Like, I do the same exact thing. I'm in it with you, 110%. You've been an amazing example of growth and trusting over time. Oh, thank you. if you got to see the behind the scenes hooting and hollering, woo! Woo! That's all I gotta say. I have had many a hoot and many a holler, many a hissy fit, many a breakdown, many a correction, many a rebuke. I promise you that. I've gotten spiritually spanked many times since I've started this channel, so don't worry. I'm in it as well. But it's part of the process, you know? God loves us so much. He just wants everything for us. Like, what we want for ourselves is like pittance in compared to what he actually wants for us. And the goal is always to get ourselves in the right perspective that we can really attain, like, the full Monty, like the full of what he wants for us. Because when we can't see it for ourselves, it's hard for him to give it to us, because we'll push it away in a variety of different ways. We won't start it. We won't finish it. We won't allow it to come in. We won't receive it, right? It's like God forgives you for your sins, for the things that, you know, are our transgressions. But if we don't accept the forgiveness, then we'll torture ourselves. We keep ourselves in our own little personal version of hell when God is trying to offer us freedom and salvation and peace. Oh, girl, I be hooting and hollering. I be like Hootie and the Blowfish over here. Don't you worry. There have been many times when I'm like, but you guys don't break up with me. Like, there's so many times I thought, like, all my angels and my guides, they were going to have, like, a walkout. They were going to put in their pink slips. Like, I tried to fire them once. It doesn't work. But it's family, right? It's family. Bob Marley, hey. We're all the single psychics out there. Well, here's one. Here's one. I'm not really single, though. I'm married to the Lord right now until he brings me my person. God's already purposed a person for me, right? It's kind of like when you order something on Amazon Prime, but then it's like, you know, it's going to take like 3 days to get to you. You still have that thing, right? Like, it's still yours, but it's just not here yet. And that's like that's for me. Like, I have a person. I don't know who he is. I don't know. He not here yet. I'm busy working on me and Jesus right now. That's okay. I had to learn to let that go the best I can. I just tried to surrender it. I just had to surrender it. Because that was really bogging me down for a hot minute. Make your way to England. We'll try. I'll try my best. I'll do my best. I don't think I'll be able to get in a plane with all the Rona, you know? Spiritually spanked, yeah. That was really hard for me, and I watched a video by Brother Eli from Prophetic Drive Time, who I absolutely love and I adore. And he made a really beautiful point that to be rebuked and to be corrected by God is actually a really beautiful thing. Because as a child of God, like, you expect to live under the favor, right? Under the glory, under the blessing. And so when that favor sort of gets removed from you during a correction period, it can be so heartbreaking. But the thing is, it's like any good parent, and he used this analogy about kids and sockets in the wall. Like, if you had a child and they were trying to stick something in the light socket in the wall, you would say, hey, don't do that. Like, hey, don't do that. You're not going to want to do that. And if they don't listen to you, you got to come over and you got to smack their hand, and they might cry and they might get upset and they might feel like you don't love them and you don't care about them. But really what you're trying to do is you're trying to protect them from imminent danger, right? Something that is not going to be good for them. And that really helped me put the correction season in the right kind of mind frame. You want to be corrected by God if you're not in the right. And taking it from that perspective made me realize, like, hey, I was acting really out of pocket in a lot of different ways. Not that anyone else could see, but behind the scenes in my own mind, right, I was acting super out of pocket, and I needed to be corrected because I was not sitting in the right vibration and I was not being the best of myself, the person that God really purposed for me to be. And so I needed to get a little spiritually spanked. I needed to get put in the timeout chair, and then he let me out, and I was real grateful for that. So now we're careful, you know. But it's me too. It's me too. The same as everyone else. I'm no better. I'm no worse. I'm no different. Wrong Alice's. I know. It's not quite the right Alice. But, you know, every time, even when and that's silver linings, right? Even when I look back at, in the last year, there are some people that I had talked to that I really thought, I was like, this is the right Alice. And it was not the right Alice. But they were closer to the right Alice than the one before them. And then the one before them. So I'm getting closer. To Wonderland each and every time. And each and every time I'm learning more about myself. And that's more important. And I don't know, because I've never been married. But what I can imagine is I want to be myself, but with someone else. I don't want to compromise myself. I don't want to change myself. I'm reachable. I'm teachable. I'm adaptable. But I don't want to have to change the basic foundation of who I am as a person, which is something that a few years ago I absolutely would have done, and I absolutely did do. So again, these are learning lessons. Absolutely, Bob. Stop sending me Barneys. I'm gonna use mine to start like a pro, but you might know. They are funny. No, they are funny. Jesus and her 12 disciples. Yeah. Spirit, a little bit. They could be a little messy. They'll send us on a little wild goose hunt. But, you know, it's also aspects of your higher self as well that come into play. Your higher self knows that the best way you learn a lesson is the hardest possible way, the most chaotic, unnecessary way. That's the only way that's going to stick. your higher self will co-sign on that shit and be like, do it, send it to him. Send him the most chaotic relationship experience, because that's the way he's going to learn. That's the way she's going to learn. And thus it begins, right? But each time you learn a little more, you grow a little more. And the hardest part is not the experiences. It's getting over the experiences. It's making peace with it. And it's dropping the bitterness, because it can make us really bitter and hard. It really can. And learning how to drop that. And not even just with the person, but it's with God. It's with the angels. It's with, you ever get mad at your spirit guide and be like, you sent me into some silly shit? I have a million times. A million times. I think I even probably made a couple videos about it, bitching about it. But, you know, we work our way back. We work our way back to the center. Her story is song. Oh, it really is. I call it the universe is giving me a show of what I'm attracting, and then it shows me what I am attracting. I'm like, okay, I need to work on the spark clearly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because everything is usually either a reflection or a projection of us, so. People be funny. People be real funny. It's cool on my MacBook. I can answer text messages on my computer. Had a big breakthrough around the stalker. It was a cathartic Kali. I went through that in the summer. That Kali, that sacred rage. But it cleared out so much. Yeah, it does. Well, you think about it like a controlled fire in the forest, right? Or farmers will purposefully burn the end of their crops, and it's so violent and catastrophic, right? But what it actually does is it clears everything out that's not useful anymore, and what it does is actually provide nutrients. I don't know if it's the sulfur, but there's something in when the things get burned, it actually adds extra nutrients into the soil, so that way the next crop is more abundant. Where in America are you, Alice? I live in New Jersey. Jersey girl, tried and true. Oh, yes she can. Yes she can, Everlong. Every time I see your name, I think of the Foo Fighters. I don't know if you like that or not, but every time I see your name, I think of the Foo Fighters. A dame? A deer? A female deer? Yes, I do. I do remember when you were raging, Charlize. We have all had rage moments. We've all had those like, argh. Hey, Amy. Hi. But it's important to remember that you always have to like honor your feelings. You have to honor your process, but also not allow yourself to develop your whole life around that feeling of rage, right? Honor it, address it, and then do your best to work through it. And no one gets to tell you how long it takes you to work through that, but not allow yourself to take root in those uncomfortable and those painful and angry places, because God always does even the scales for us. Even yesterday, something like happened to me yesterday, and I was like, this does not feel right in my spirit. Like this was not right. Something not cool just happened. And I was like stewing about it a little bit. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna leave it to you guys. You guys deal with it. God, Jesus, Michael, you guys deal with it, because I'm not gonna let it steal my peace. Not today. Try Jesus. Don't try me. And then today the situation got rectified, which is really nice. And I was like, thank you. That's what I'm talking about. You ever see the gif of that lady in the car? And she's like, that's what I'm fucking talking about. Hey, Amy. How you doing, girl? My favorite Jersey girl of all. Love me some Jersey sass. I'm about as Jersey as you get. I was born at the shore, at Jersey Shore. But we are not like that show, the Jersey Shore show. We are not like that show. I would like to say that. And I went to college in Jersey City, which is like very urban. It's like 15 minutes, take the PATH train, New York City. So I'm a little bit all over the place. I'm about as Jersey as you get. Yeah, that's exactly right, Anika. Ooh. There've been fun stuff. There've been fun stuff flying around today. I was on my walk today. I was doing my little hike, and I had noticed I don't know, maybe like 3 miles in, and I was like, I haven't seen any birds. I was like, that's so strange. And I remember just like I had my headphones and I'm walking, and I'm just like, Daddy, I hadn't seen any birds today. Like, isn't that strange? And I think I got maybe like 100 yards further, and then a cardinal out of nowhere just flew right across my vision. It was the brightest, most brilliant cardinal I'd ever seen. I actually stopped and I was like looking at it through the branches. I was like, oh, this is so special. I was like, it's our anniversary. It's me and God's anniversary. Yeah, you gotta let them work it out. They'll put their thing down, they're gonna flip it, they're gonna reverse it. God always balances the scales. He always does. Do you know Ant from Cancer Moon too? Actually, you know what's so funny? I was talking about male YouTube tarot readers before, and I actually forgot to mention him. He is amazing. I used to watch him a lot when I first got into tarot YouTube. I haven't watched him in a while. Is he from Jersey? I think you're right. Yeah, he must be. I knew he was from like the tri-state area, but I wasn't sure if he was like more New York or like Staten Island or something like that. He's great. He's a delightful young man. I think he's young too. I think he's like 20 years old. I think he's like 19, 20. He's young. He's really talented. And then you have those moments where you're like, oh, if I started this when I was 19 years old. But I was not meant to. At 19 years old, I was going into my freshman year at college after my gap year. I was drinking Colt 45s, smoking blunts on top of the student union building. That's what I was doing at 19. It was sweet. It was super sweet. I don't regret a minute of it. He is really awesome, no problem. He has 3 years to speak. Yeah,